News with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, Adam, you wanted cities to rise up, and looks like we've broken the seal with Beverly Hills. The Beverly Hills City Council unanimously approved a resolution Tuesday night opposing LA County's ban on outdoor dining. And the city's resolution demands a motion be placed on the agenda for December 8th to repeal it, citing a detrimental impact on local businesses and lack of scientific evidence. However, the city will comply up until then, until there's a vote. The city council also directed its staff to look into creating its own city health department so it doesn't have to do what LA County says, like Pasadena and Long Beach, and tons of cities are trying to do that now. Whittier, other ones.
I think everyone has figured out that the LA City Council is a bunch of fucking retards, and Newsom's an asshole, and Garcetti's fucking worthless, and now everyone's just going to create their own health council so they can veto whatever the mandate the assholes put down on whatever the next event is, and that's going to be part of our new world order, is just breaking up into smaller groups so that they can stay open. I walked through Beverly Hills a couple of weeks back, took Natalia out for dinner, and that place was bustling. I mean, everyone was out in the sidewalk with their dividers up, but it was bustling, that place. And you know, we always talk about how this would impact the servers and the tips and the back and the folks in the kitchen and the owners and the landlords and the business. We're constantly talking about that, but for many, many people, going out to dinner is a real pleasure. Like it is in a time when people are cooped up and there's not that much to look forward to and everyone's kind of trapped with their kids. Going out for a meal is that's circled on the calendar.
That's awesome.
Yes, Brian.
Oh, to your point, Chris and I were just talking about how much our lives have changed over the last year. And we're like, I theorized, and I don't think I was off by much. I'm like, we went out 50 out of 52 weekends a year. You know what I mean? Just for either a casual dinner or an occasion or whatever. Like, that was our time away from Tessa. That was adult time to reconnect. And it's like, yeah, we haven't done that in a year. Right.
And although I'm going to meet Drew in Pasadena tomorrow for steak, but those things, like those groups, get a group of people together, go to Morton's, sit in our, I have a booth at Morton's, doesn't have my name on it, but that's the one they give me. And I would go there every 3 weeks and meet Kevin Hench for wonderful conversations and very interesting and laughing, and exchanging of ideas. And going out to dinner as you get older, when you're young, you go, well, we want to play laser tag or something like that, but paintball or something. But the older I get, if you ask me what is my favorite thing to do, it is go out to dinner with people I enjoy. Mm-hmm. And pulling that off the table, again, it's bad for the servers, it's bad for the owners, it's bad for the busboys. But it's really bad for the people who now can't go anywhere. Like I was like, I had this thought, I had this thought yesterday, which is my kids were in Florida for Thanksgiving, and then they come back and seen them for a while. I went out and hung out with Sonny for a while. But I said to my daughter, I said, let's go out. Let's go out and do something. Let's go. And then, as I was saying, let's me and you go out on another date and we'll go out to dinner somewhere. And I was thinking, we can't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. We can't, there's no place to go.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking about, well, then I'll get some tacos and we'll eat them on the porch or something. And it just doesn't sound like what it was. She picked out the restaurant she wanted to go to and blah, blah, blah. So,
and some of the best stuff doesn't travel well. Like you and I love steaks. Getting the steak delivered to your house, it's been cooked for 30 minutes. So it's done being, you know what I mean? The travel time.
Then you kind of get into that mode of like, do I zap it in the microwave for 30 seconds? Like, do I reheat it? But also, since it's not based on any science, then why not just move on to wherever it is you don't want us to go?
That's where we're at. And you want to destroy female friendships at lightning speed? Cancel brunch.
Oh
because
my
I
God.
haven't seen my girlfriends in a long time, and that's the one time you knew you were going to be able to see everybody and reconnect. And, for someone like me who is actually incredibly introverted and does not see people very often, it's like I can hit them all in one fell swoop. I don't need to do a coffee with this person, a phone call with this person. I don't like doing that. So this is tough on female friendships as well.
No, I remember when you were talking about going to the all nude swingers party at the warehouse. How you're explaining to everyone, I'm so introverted that I'm going to keep one pasty on.
I know you think you're being hilarious,
I do.
But if you remember my story, I was the wet blanket of the entire airplane hangar.
Guys walking around the boner. I'm extroverted.
Most severe introverts don't go to swingers warehouse parties in the in Upland in general. But I get your point.
But people don't think of me that way. But I really don't like to go out. I get depressed when I think that there's like a party coming up. You just got to get through it. But I end up having fun. But it's not. But brunch is the exception. It has a set ending time, which is very important to me. And those days are over for now. We do have some good news, some breaking good news that I hope I'm springing on you, though. If you've been on the computer at all, you've probably already seen it. Airlines don't have to treat emotional support animals as service animals anymore.
Oh, my God. This must have been Adam's most tweeted story.
I was going to say, I'm sure you've seen it. The U.S. Department of Transportation ruled Wednesday that carriers are not required to recognize emotional support animals as service animals and may treat them as pets. Air carriers are also permitted to limit service animals to dogs. Very important. CNN reports that flying with a small pet inside the cabin can cost $125 or more each way for the airline.
Well, this will be the end of it. All the people who couldn't fly without their dogs, go ahead and charge $125 for Bowser, and they're going to be magically cured. They'll be magically gone. It's fucking. Here's the whole thing, and what I've realized, and why I've been shouting from the mountaintop about this shit for a decade now, which is flying with the dogs. It's kind of the same as the homeless thing, which is, look, just leave them alone. Let them make the right decision. Sadly, we're at a place now, maybe it's the lack of religion, or maybe it's just the lack of personal dignity, or maybe it's the fact that character has gone by the wayside. No more leaving people alone and letting them make the right decision when it comes to living for free in Venice Beach in a camper, or flying for free with your dog. I do think, and I have seen, in something like mask mandates and that kind of stuff, every person I see is wearing a mask in my neighborhood. People walking alone, walking their dog at night. Like Sonny and I were out walking Phil last night. Someone was walking down the street at 9 at night just alone. Wow. They had a mask on. Of course, Sonny and I didn't, but all the other stooges did. The Trader Joe's, everyone just does that. There's a social contract. You shall be shamed, and you need to put that mask on. And people will comply with that. If there's shame. See, we all wanted to get rid of shame. Remember that? Well, don't shame that person, or don't shame that. There was a lot of shame talk. Well, now you want them to wear fucking masks, and shame is back, and it's pretty fucking effective. I mean, if you minus the shame, the societal shame part of masks, and you just treat it like parking tickets, or parking. You go, well, there's no shame in having your tire in the red zone. Right, but you could get a ticket. But fine, I'm just going to run into the salon and I'll come back. Like, people would chance it. The shame, the societal shame is, by the way, it's like having 700 million meter maids. You know what I mean? Like, it is so pervasive, and it works. It works really well. Everyone's wearing a mask, and it works so fucking well that people walk alone on the horse trail at night and wear the fucking mask. I see people riding their mountain bikes, where everybody but me is wearing a mask when they take a hike, because I'm not a fucking stooge. Like, I'm alone. It's hot outside, and we're just taking a fucking walk, or I'm walking with my son at night. There's nobody there's nobody around. But sure enough, everyone is wearing that goddamn mask. Now,
Yeah.
if we had some fucking shame, like I was trying to create, about these fake service animals, then we could have shamed people. But it didn't work. We didn't shame the first wave of pioneer pussies and cheapskates who wanted to travel for free with their fucking dog and didn't give a shit about what anyone else on the plane thought. And then that created a next wave and a third wave. And now we're at the 27th wave. And at some point, we have to get involved now because it's out of control.
I do like your frontiersman strip club name, though.
Yeah, Pioneer Pussy.
Pioneer Pussy.
Pioneer Pussy. That's right. Best fried chicken in the land. Hey, everybody. My name's Pete. Pioneer Pete. Not the name I use when I play games that I get smeared in on AdamCarolla. Hey, Pete. Hey, we got a large, tasty bucket of hotness coming up named Cheyenne. She's finger licking good. I go extra crispy on her ass. Don't forget to get the cottage cut fries on there and a side of slaw. And not that bullshit slaw with the fucking golden raisins and the currants and the pieces of green apple. We go old slaw, the way the Colonel used to say it. And let me tell you something else about the Colonel. He said something else at a meeting once when he was using a... What's that? Okay, I'll keep it clean. All right, Jade, stage 7. Counter 7, Jade, counter 7. All right. I'm just going to get back in my covered wagon, have myself a nice bowl of finger-licking good pussy. Hey, everybody, quit your grinning and drop your wet naps. Sorry.
Speaking of the loss,
She's my cherry pie post.
speaking of the lack of shame, do you think there'll be a pushback on this animal ban, or will the people just have a little dignity and say, we got a good run. We got 10 good years of not paying the fees out of this?
Every person I know who does it knows they're getting away with something.
That's what I'm saying. They do kind of like, had a good run.
It's like pushing back after you've created, after you've been involved with like unemployment fraud or something. It's like, all right, I had a good run, hammered a few checks, but then I got caught. So I'm
not going to push the issue.
All right, what else, Gina?
Well, there's a bit of some more breaking news, actually, that if we need more details, we can look at it further. San Francisco has banned tobacco smoking inside apartments, but don't worry, weed smokers, you can still smoke weed.
Yeah, I think that's where we're at.
They do have a reason for that. It's not super satisfying, but there is a reason for that.
What is it?
So smoking, in some places, you can still find a place to smoke cigarettes outside. But since weed smoking outside is illegal, then they would be taking away your complete right to smoke anywhere, to smoke weed. So you're not allowed to smoke cigarettes because you can still find places to smoke them outside. But
tell that to
weed.
the guy shooting up heroin right now on hate.
On hate.
I was going to say, it's San Francisco. He's fine wherever he is.
Yeah. It's just more part of the war on cigarettes. And the cigarettes, it's kind of it's interesting. It's well, look, I've seen the commercials. What happens when you smoke in an apartment is you got to be a middle-aged white guy with kind of a scowl on your face. Mm-hmm. And then you just sit alone on your sofa in your apartment and you smoke angry. Smoking angry is when you put your thumb and forefinger and hold it like you're pinching something off. Smoking nice is when you wedge it between your fingers.
Right.
Angry smoke is when you hold it tight.
The pinch.
The pinch move. And that guy sits alone in his apartment, probably a racist, I'm guessing, and he smokes angry. And then what happens is the smoke goes into the electrical socket, and then it follows the conduit up, and it goes into the unit above him, which has a little brown baby who's sleeping in a bassinet, and then that baby sucks up all the smoke, and then that kid will never see his 22nd birthday because of how a secondhand smoke's a first-hand killer.
But right before the smoke goes into the baby's mouth, it turns into like a wavy skull and cross.
Yes, that's usually
so
how it works.
No, it's bad. Yeah.
Right. So the guy who smokes in the apartment never has a kid, which is weird because it's a straight...
Or if they do, they're estranged.
They're estranged. Right. And the smoking thing is kind of interesting because it is... I always talk about it in my stand-up. It's like go Smoke in the restaurant, smoke in the smoking section, go smoke at the bar, smoke out on the patio, can't smoke there, go outside, can't smoke out in front of the door, go down the street, can't smoke at the park, can't smoke in your apartment now. And a couple of things. It is an interesting little yardstick to sort of measure our government, because in a way, smoking is a freedom. Smoking is kind of falls under the heading of, well, it's bad for me, but I choose to do it, so I'll do it, which is, and it's not, I kind of get smoking in restaurants or smoking in bars. I get it, but here's the thing. If you own a restaurant, you should decide whether you want smoking or non-smoking. If you own a bar, that should be your fucking decision. The government shouldn't mandate that. You should say, I'm not going to have smoking in my bar because I have a lot of patrons who don't appreciate it. Or after there's 50 of those, you should have a bar that says people are welcome to smoke here. And if you'd like to smoke and that's your thing and you want to do it in my bar, you may come to my bar. So we should have never let the government take this over. Now, the government is going to just keep going with smoking. If you don't think they're done with smoking, when have they ever stopped? When has there ever been anything that would suggest that the government was going to stop anything about smoking? First off,
they're never satisfied.
Yes, they lied. This full secondhand smoke thing's just a fucking lie. Those are the experts. Those are the experts lying to you. You know what they're doing? They're lying to you. They lied to you the same way they lied to you about COVID, which is smoking is bad. COVID is bad. We don't want you to get COVID. We don't want you to smoke. How do we get you to do that? Well, if we give you actual statistics about secondhand smoke, that might not slow your roll, because the actual statistics about secondhand smoke are nil. Nobody dies of secondhand smoke. Doesn't exist. So we're going to say 50,000 Americans die every year of secondhand smoke. We will lie to you. The experts will lie. We will get you to curtail this behavior that we don't approve of. And there's so many parallels with that going on with COVID. It's like, we will tell you things. We will try to change your behavior. You can argue, well, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe people shouldn't be smoking. Maybe secondhand smoke is bad. But do you want to live in a world where the experts get to lie to you to get you to stop doing stuff? That's the question.
Yeah, there was a better way. Like, it's Machiavellian, you know what I mean? Like, the ends justify the means. Like, if we can reduce smoking by saying any number of things, is that a noble end result? Yeah, you can debate that, but philosophically, do you want the leaders or experts, whatever you call them, effectively lying to you?
Well, and it's such a short game, too, because now you think
you
about
create a backlash.
Yeah, you go like, experts. What pearls of wisdom do you have now? Oh, I can walk on the beach, but I can't lay down on a towel. Okay, let me write this down. I don't want to forget it. Oh, we can't eat in the restaurant. We can't eat outside the restaurant. Okay, I'm going to write this down while you eat in a restaurant. Okay, you end up losing your constituency because you've overplayed your hand. All right, what else, Gina?
So we talked about this last year. Remember the boat, the Conception, that all these sort of families, divers were on doing like a tourist, stay on the boat overnight and then go scuba diving, and it caught on fire and almost everybody died. Well, there is an update now to that story. The captain of that dive boat, and it did burn off of Santa Barbara last year, killing 34 people. He was indicted on 34 counts of manslaughter, seaman's manslaughter to be exact. The indictment, which was handed down by a federal grand jury, alleges that this guy, Jerry Boylan, 67 years old, was responsible for the safety and security of the vessel, its crew, and its passengers. And he's expected to give himself up to federal authorities. U.S. Attorney Nick Hanna said in a statement, as a result of the alleged failures of Captain Boylan to follow well-established safety rules, a pleasant holiday dive trip turned into a hellish nightmare as passengers and one crew member found themselves trapped in a fiery bunk room with no means of escape. The three violations include failing to have a roving patrol, failing to conduct sufficient fire drills, and failing to conduct sufficient crew training. And according to the NTSB, the fire started where lithium-ion batteries were being charged, but couldn't determine if it was the batteries or the ship's electrical system that started the fire. Now, he got off, and a few other crew members got off, and that was it.
God, could you imagine, these guys get brought up on charges, but before the tragedy, they're just fucking regular working people.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, there's a whole bunch of mandates like, hey, every 2 hours, a crew member must walk through the cabin to observe the whatever. And everyone goes, yeah, right. And then everyone has a few beers and goes to bed.
Yep.
Right. There's all, I try not to judge because there's so much of this part of life that people just kind of whiff on, you know, like how many, you know, I've lived in California my whole life. I've been told 2,000 times to have stuff prepared for an earthquake. You know, when the earthquake hits, we're not going to fucking have anything prepared. All this stuff where you have to, you know, when you live in your home, you guys tell me, you know, you live in your home, you got to have a drill. You got to have like a fire drill. The fire thing goes off. You do it at 2 a.m. We all meet in one spot. We look for the nearest exit, whatever. How many families have done that? And nobody does.
Not this one.
Right. So nobody does it. And I'm sure this guy wasn't a bad guy. He was just that guy, you know.
Yeah.
And at some point, he finds himself, I'm guessing, floating in the water or in a dinghy or rubber raft or something, looking back at his vessel engulfed in flames, and he's doing the math. There's me, there's that crew guy, there's that other crew guy, and then there's 34 people in there, and nobody's getting out. I mean, that had to be insanely traumatic. I mean, could you imagine that? And I know we're supposed to be angry at this guy, but it's the kind of thing that just could happen at any time, anywhere, with the sort of perfect storm, pardon the pun, of variables.
Well, and speaking of that, in a way, Brian, you'll probably remember this. It reminded me of the movie The Laundromat that we talked about. I believe it was last year. The Meryl Streep and I think John Cusack. It was kind of that odd movie, but that's how it started out, just with people on an
accident on a boat. That's right.
A little boat tour, and a wave came out of nowhere. So many people died, and then trying to figure out who's at fault. Nobody meant to do it, but it happened.
All right. What else we got, Gina?
Let's see here. Well, Snoop Dogg is teaming up with social media app owner, Triller co-owner Ryan Kavanaugh to launch a new boxing league called the Fight Club. Kavanaugh dropped the news that the event was the first of what will be many high-profile fights that he and Snoop plan to arrange. Kavanaugh adds that they already have a major fight in the works with some big stars, but of course, we don't know who. One thing he will say, though, is that Snoop will definitely provide the commentary, because during the Tyson fight, I know Snoop was trending hard during that fight. Fight Club will feature both sanctioned and unsanctioned fights like the Tyson Jones fight. Snoop's commentary was a big highlight, so it's going to continue. And in addition to the main event, Fight Club will also schedule some high-profile undercards. So if we were testing the waters with this latest one, it's a go.
Yeah, there's no more forms of entertainment anymore. There's just entertainment. There's no more Broadway, boxing, or NBA. It's now just entertainment. You know what I mean?
No Broadway. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's and what is the future hold? You know what I mean? Like if when I talk to my son and he's 30, he's like, "Are you going to come by and watch the pay-per-view? What's going on?" Oh, it's Vanna White shitting into Bill Cosby's urn. Oh, that's a thing? Oh, yeah.
We all chipped in. We got it.
Vegas has odds on it.
Yeah, Snoop's calling it. Yeah. I mean, that's just where we're heading, right? It's pure freak show now, right?
Yeah.
It's
idiocracy. Ouch, my balls.
Yes, that's what it is.
TV show.
Related question. When's the last time Snoop rapped?
I don't know.
Well, let's see. He's had a cookbook with Martha Stewart.
Okay.
Right.
You're kind of making my point. Like, is there anyone as famous or more famous than Snoop that is farther away from what they became famous for? Like, I think like Mario Lopez, maybe?
He rapped in the Katie. Oh, maybe Mario Lopez is going to fight Vin Scully. Yeah.
Mark McGrath.
Yeah.
Mark McGrath was a singer, everyone.
He rapped in He definitely rapped in Katy Perry's like California Girls or whatever.
I think that was 11 years ago.
That was a test, and you did not pass, Adam.
I get a free pass because I had a daughter, and we used to have dance parties to that song. It's great because they talk about fucking on the beach and stuff. So that's what you want your 4-year-old into.
Not allowed now under COVID.
He must be. Yeah.
So he has an album coming out this month. Take It From a G.
Oh, all right.
So and he's been releasing an album a year.
Just nobody knows anymore.
Yeah,
right?
his last top 10 album was in 2011.
Yeah,
Didn't he change his name to Snoop Lion?
Yeah, makes sense. And he's doing Corona commercials and stuff. Yeah. It's so crazy now because there used to be a taboo, like, oh, this guy's dropping N-bombs and smoking the weed. Corporate America is not going to get near this guy. Then we've completely gone fuck it with that, too. It's like, whatever, whoever, DJ Khaled, whoever, Snoop Dogg, come on down. Come on down.
DJ Khaled's on that list. Much more famous for commercials now than for being a DJ.
He's famous for sitting.
I blame the Kardashians and Dancing with the Stars. Those are the two entities I blame for this new kind of anything goes form of entertainment. Nothing's a bad idea. The freakier, the better. See if you can get that Vanna White, Bill Cosby's Earn thing going. Okay. I know some guys at CAA. I think we could underwrite that thing. All right, let me hit Geico. Do you own? Do you rent? Well, you do one or the other. How about you bundle your policies at Geico? Geico makes it easy to bundle the homeowners and renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around the house. Why not make things easier at Geico? Just go to geico.com, get a free quote today, see just how much you could be saving. All right, let's do one more, Gina Grad.
Okay, well, since we were talking about the future, let's talk about the future. A big-time astronomer named Seth Shostak, who specializes in studying extraterrestrials, says that we will find aliens by the year 2036. And it's interesting how he came to that number. He went so far as to say he will bet everybody on Earth a cup of Starbucks that will find something by that time. So according to Shostak, as the processing power of computers tasked to listen to distant signals from the cosmos doubles every 2 years or so, because people are not listening to these signals. They said that would be like one person watching 1 million television shows at the same time. These are computers listening to these signals. Computers will be able to monitor more and more and more channels on which extraterrestrials might be communicating. And by 2036, the SETI Institute, S-E-T-I, SETI Institute's computers will have improved enough for astronomers to have looked at about 1 million star systems. And as he says, it's his gut that 1 million is the right magic number to find something.
Be prepared when they do find that signal from outer space to be wildly underwhelmed. Because we're going to want, like, I am your overlord. You must obey. It's going to be some weird little thing that sounds kind of organic to us, and we don't know what it is. It's going to be a cross between like a brook and a ferret or something. And we're going to go, what? That doesn't sound like, it's something. Oh, believe you me.
It's not do.
Right. It's not. It's going to be anything we can hang our hat on. It's going to be wild. It's going to be big news. Like, hey, we've made contact. We found a signal, but the signal's going to be like nothing we've ever heard. It's not even going to sound like anything, and it will not reflect anything that we've ever thought of or any movie we've ever seen.
That's probably for the best.
Probably.
We all think we want it, but, you listen to enough coast to coast, and everyone should just stay on their own planet.
That's right. Art Bell. All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.